I got to work pretty early, so I thought that I would make myself a peanut butter sandwich and chat with you guys. One of my friends just completed like a 30-day challenge, and on the 30th day, she also uploaded like a mukbang. So it looks like I am just gonna eat a peanut butter sandwich for you guys again and talk about the Queen of Wands. I pulled her a few days ago, and instead of pulling her and then making a video about her the same day, I was like, you know what? I am actually going to reflect on this and like see what happens in my life and see how I can apply it. And I was thinking about this concept of the looking glass self, which is like one of the first pioneering like comprehensive theories of self, and it popped up in like 1902 or something. And it's this idea that our perceptions of how other people perceive us shape our identity and our sense of self. And I was thinking about that in my relationship with this concept and the Queen of Wands, and this might be butter, not sponsored. And I got the biggest ego boost today, right before I made this video. I was with my coworker, and he told me, he was like, Skylar, you have the most incredible temperament. You're so easy to be around. You're the only person I want to work with and like work next to and stuff. And then my other coworkers chimed in. They're like, yeah, Skylar's really easy to work with. We like working with him too. And I was like, what, you guys? Little old me? And, but in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, fully. I'm like the best. And I was thinking about like just the way I socialize and the way I interact with others. And Queen, oh my gosh, this is like a slice of bread with peanut butter on it. Don't hate, just because you can't be me. Okay, this is actually a mukbang. This is so chewy. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Oh my god. Mukbang. So I actually wrote a few notes down. I wrote one about overestimating my mental zest, energy, and peer acceptance. So even though the people at work gave me that compliment, I definitely overestimate the amount of mental energy that I have. I overestimate how much people like me. I overestimate how good I am at communicating. I overestimate my position in a social circle. Sometimes when I Queen of Wands, I go out and I'm charismatic and I draw people in. And once I've got them in my web, I don't know what to do with them, if that makes sense. Like I don't know. Once I trap somebody in my web that I really like, I know exactly what to do. But when I trap miscellaneous people, I have no idea what to do with these people. Which is like pretty fucked up, I know. But that's just the way that it is. I get really comfortable really quickly in social situations, like too comfortable. And so I have like this awesome Queen of Wands side where I'm adaptable and I'm social. And then I have like this shadow side where I have to overshare, or actually maybe everyone hates me. And so like I go through this like high and then this crash. And so I thought that maybe with this video I could just kind of talk through the way I socialize and my social life and the way I put myself out there in the world and into the universe. And I wrote down a prompt that I could like shuffle and ask about, and we could all heal together. I said, how can I begin the journey of healing my negative social beliefs and habits? I've got the White Sage Tarot. It's going to be fully incredible. Okay. How can I just start getting on, like, I love socializing. But something about the way I socialize just isn't sustainable right now. I'm putting too much of myself out there, or I'm not putting enough. What can I put me on the right track to just having a healthier social life and a healthier balance about expressing myself? And does this question even make sense? I don't know. Okay. 8 of Wands. I've got to be able to let it flow the way that it wants to flow. And by it, I mean like social situations. I don't have to grab onto each moment and overanalyze. I mean, hello, Virgo. Obviously, I'm still going to do that, but maybe I can let go of that second arrow of, oh, I'm analyzing and I'm bad for doing it. And what else happens to the 8 of Wands? It's quick, it's fast, it's movement. Maybe I don't need to feel so bad about jumping from social situation to social situation. Maybe I don't need to feel so bad about my social quickness. I'm naturally a really quick talking and quick thinking and jumping from subject to subject to subject, and sometimes I get a little anxious about it. And so maybe I could learn to embrace and enhance and follow this trajectory of, okay, I'm a quick, neurotic, social person, and can I be okay with that? And I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. So, impulsive cognitive style. Okay. So, thinking along like some of the negative attributes of the Queen of Wands and how it pertains to me in my life, I am an oversharer, and I get really excited, and I make these big ideas with people, and I like to, when I talk with people, I like to talk big, if that makes sense. I like to ask really random questions like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Like terrible questions to ask people, but I cannot help it. And I guess when it comes to, wow, okay, classic me, notes don't make any sense, so whatever. I love shock value, and when people don't want to go along for my social antics, like when people are not down for the way that I am, I become suspicious. Like, I totally project onto people that aren't the same as me. I view them as, what is going on with my shirt collar? Oh my gosh, it looks like it's been folded up for 30 years. Oh well. I wrote about the ways I disengage from conflict. So the Queen of Wands is totally somebody that might say something that offends somebody, or not that, I mean, I have a Libra moon, so I'm not going to say anything that offends somebody, but maybe the way that I communicate, or like my confidence and assuredness, could be off-putting to people. And as soon as any sort of conflict arises with the people that I'm with or communicating with or anything like that, I disengage. I will not engage in conflict. And it's one of my best and worst traits. Because sometimes when it needs to be hashed out, I won't hash it out until everybody is calm and like chill. If somebody is saying something that is overwhelming to me, instead of like lashing out verbally or expressing myself, I will deep breath and walk away. That's not very Queen of Wandsy of me. So I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I was just thinking about my relationship with the Queen of Wands, if that makes sense. Is that what this video is going to be about? Just the way I relate to the Queen of Wands, or where, I don't know where this is going, but it's just a chit chat, so we'll just keep chatting. Let's see, what else did I write? I crave recognition for how hard I work and how creative I am, yet also I crave sympathy. I think this might come from a variety of factors. So as a Queen of Wands, in a lot of circumstances, I like to be seen. I like people to see how creative I am. I like people to see how hard I work. I like people to see me as somebody that's full of energy. I like people to see me as approachable. I like people to see me as somebody fun that they can get along with. But also, once people come into my bubble, I have like a block, a shield up. So I push people away as soon as they get close. Love that for me. And once people start to get to know me better, I want them to see me as hardworking, but I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure I know why. I'm sure it's some deep trauma that I'll need to uncover maybe in another video. This need for like a recognition, but also I need people to forgive me for like mistakes, and I need people to see, I want people to see like how far I've come, and I want people to be sympathetic towards me, and I crave sympathy and empathy, and it's really weird. I don't know, like there's this conflict inside me. So I don't know, I'll draw a card for that later, but I did write another prompt for myself. What is a core belief I might not know that I have about my social value and my social standing? A core belief about my value as a person in social situations and my social standing and my understanding of who I am, and either positive or negative, we'll see kind of what comes through. It's just a core belief that I have that we could chat about. The sun. Interesting. I'm probably going to say the word interesting after every card I draw ever, so that's just who I am. Core belief. Maybe this is like ego, right? But I naturally see myself as a sunny person with a sunny disposition, happy-go-lucky. And I do have, as I'm sinking into this card, I have a core belief that all of our social interactions can be positive, even in terrible situations, like I'm breaking up with you, but it's gonna be awesome because we get to move on, blah, 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 live our better lives separate. Or I have this core desire to make every conversation a good one, and one that makes me feel good and is radiant like the sun. And I guess I have this core belief that if I'm not having an amazing conversation with somebody, that it's a bad one. And maybe that's not always the case. Maybe not every conversation has to be stellar and shiny and full of positive energy. Maybe conversations could be more than that. Maybe they could be deeper and darker, and maybe there's more to in this. Maybe my ideal social interaction is one that is positive. Can I make room for negative? Probably not, because hello, Libra Moon, like to make everybody happy. Let's see what else I wrote. My mind versus your mind. I often feel tested, competition. I'd say a lot of the time I have this ego need to, so the Queen of Wands is somebody that wants to put herself, on display because she feels like she has something worth saying. And I feel like I have something worth saying, but when somebody has a different opinion than me, my first thought isn't that they just have a different opinion than me. My first thought is, I am being challenged, so must fight. And I am a crackhead because I bought like a 6-pack of these that were on sale, and they turned me into a crackhead. Like legitimately, like. So, was I talking about mental competition with people that have different opinions than me? I have this need to one up, or this need to it's a want also to embody my ideals. I want people to see me as somebody that is passionate and has opinions, but I also want people to see me as somebody that lives those opinions. Something about people being hypocrites and hypocrisy, I don't know why, but it drives me insane. Like, totally insane. And I know that I am a hypocrite about certain things. I just don't know what those things are. And when somebody points them out to me, I'll be devastated, but I really, really easily see the way that other people are hypocrites. Like the people in your lives that are like, they give you all sorts of advice, like, you should do this and this and this and you'll be happier, but then they don't do it for themselves. Stuff like that, that makes me angry. So I won't offer good advice to people if I know that I don't follow it. So I wonder what that says about me. Like, I'll withhold information if I feel like that information will be used against me, or like it doesn't apply to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but I was in a chit-chat mood. What else did I write? Shadow projections on people who you communicate differently. If they're not an excellent communicator, they're not trustworthy. And if I'm not communicating excellently, I'm not to be trusted. A large way that I judge people is the way that they communicate to me, the language that they use, the way that they put their world forward, and the way that I put my world forward. If they're not meeting right, I instantly blame the other person. This other person doesn't have the same social skills as me. This other person just isn't as evolved as me. Doesn't have the same language capacity as me. And I've noticed that I tend to judge people a little that aren't able to put themselves out there and communicate the way that I do, which is so fucked up. Like, just because I've read a few more books than some people and have a wider vocabulary, in what way does that make me any better than anybody else in this universe, in this world? Like, it's just so dumb. Like the expectations I put on others. So following that same vein, if for some reason I'm having trouble communicating something, or if I'm having trouble telling somebody how I feel, or I don't know how I feel about something, my reaction to myself is, you're a big dummy, first of all. And if you don't know what you're communicating, you're not worth listening to, you're not worth anything, right? Not to be trusted. And there's this weird thing I have about, if someone is a clear communicator, I will trust them more, or if somebody is really open, and for some reason in my mind there's this relation between openness and trustworthiness. And if I feel like I can't be open about something, then I don't trust what I'm feeling. It's very nuanced. I don't know what I'm trying to express, but I thought it was interesting that I would maybe try and talk it out on camera, but it's not being talked out, so I'll just be like this forever, probably. And I wrote one last note. It says, a portion of the knowledge and wisdom you accumulate in this life comes from social and communication events. Use it consciously, but also manipulatively. So I know that a huge portion of the wisdom and the love and the knowledge and, so much of what I have and what everybody has comes from our interactions with others. I work next to a little food restaurant bakery thing, and my wall shares a wall with their dishwasher, and sometimes I hear food like splattering against the wall. It's really gross. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the stuff we get from other people. So we get this wisdom from other people, right? And I know that. I know that so much of other people is imprinted on me. And I'm not just some special, unique being that I've created myself. I've introjected a lot of personalities from other people. But also I know that I use my natural charisma and my natural ability to communicate in a way that doesn't always feel right. Like, I know that other people probably view extroversion and confidence and intellectualism as, you know, somebody that's trustworthy, somebody that they want to hang out with, somebody that they have a high opinion of, and I know that. So I've just been thinking about the genuineness of the way that I present myself in public. Maybe that's what the point of this video is. When I'm Queen of Wandsing, is it authentic? Which is like a word that I've been seeing all over the place. Authenticity. Great, whatever. I love it. But also, like, it's true. Is this who I really am? Yes and no. Yes, I am naturally extroverted. Yes, I like to be the center of attention. Yes, I like to tell jokes and be funny, and I like to be thought of as handsome, and I like to put myself out there. Is that so wrong? And I know that other people like those things too, so I get pleasure from that. I gain things from that. So I've just been thinking these past few days about the way I put myself out there. Is it real? Does it make me feel good? Is it in alignment? Because we spend so much of our lives communicating and expressing ourselves and having people react to the way that we express ourselves. And am I in alignment with what I think, and am I in alignment with what I believe? Like, I have no idea. I think I'm gonna make an Instagram post maybe with a spread, because I wrote a bunch of notes about the way I interact and the way that people interact with me and blah blah blah. But I wrote some questions that maybe we'll just ponder out loud, or I'll draw a card if I feel like one is really pertinent. What assumptions about my social interactions no longer serve me? What messages am I most likely to internalize from others? And what messages might others be most likely to internalize from me? And what unnecessary burdens and demands do I place on myself socially? Aren't those some good fucking questions, by the way? I felt totally genius when I was writing out. I wrote out like 50 questions. So don't think I just generated those questions just like willy-nilly. No, it took me like 30 questions to start to get to the meaty ones. And my favorite one was, what unnecessary burdens and demands do I place on myself socially? So I thought I would draw a card for that. Maybe I'll draw a Gateway Oracle. Oh yeah, yesterday I was gonna maybe film this video, and I drew this card from the Gateway Oracle as like a inspiration card. Mending bridges. I heal rifts. I am a mender. Sometimes when I'm talking to people and putting myself out there, instead of building true connections, I try to build myself up to be seen instead of building a bridge to another person. And I thought that was an interesting way for me to just start to become mindful of the way that I communicate. So let's draw another Gateway Oracle card for an unnecessary burden and demand that I place on myself socially. This is a positive affirmation deck, so I could reword it like, what do I forget to be true when I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself in social situations? Oh! Listening with your heart. I trust the messages I receive from my heart. Remember what I said last video? Sometimes it's so fucking simple. Instead of communicating with my head, like Virgo always does, what if I tried communicating from like my heart space and from the compassion I know is in here, and trying to build those bridges between people instead of just energy dumping on other people? What if I listened with like my fullest potential to really hear and see somebody, and what I want to do on this planet, what I want to do with my life is help people heal and understand and feel humor and feel seen and feel good. I want good vibes for everyone. And how can I do that if I'm listening with my head and my ego self instead of like my full capacity? I think that we all have so much potential. And I'm glad that you guys sat with me. I decided not to do a full mukbang because that peanut butter and sandwich was chewy AF. So you guys would have just seen me chewing this whole video and it would have been horrible. So thank you for sitting through another video, and I will see you guys next time.